Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, I'm going to be doing a buyer beware for the new items, vehicles, and content in the Doomsday Heist DLC. These are some vehicles and items and content that I think you should stay away from and that you'd best be served saving your money, spending it on something else. So let's start with some of the bigger items first. Today, we're going to start with the new facilities. So I don't think the facilities in general are a buyer beware because they offer a lot of great stuff like new vehicle storage and the access to the Doomsday Heist. But one thing you need to note is the only difference in these facilities, there's 9 of them, is location. So the prices are going to be different for each one, some vastly more expensive than others, and the only difference you're getting is location. So nothing on the inside of these facilities are any different based off of which one you choose. However, there's a couple in particular that I think you should stay away from. Number 1 is the Land Act Reservoir facility. So number 1, it's the most expensive. Number 2, it's in a really weird location. See how you only have like back roads in order to get access to it? You're going to be doing like a lot of delivery missions and stuff like that, and that's a really bad location. Same with this one right here. It's right next to Ron Alternate's wind farm. You're going to be flying helicopters, jets, and planes through there. That's not good at all. And then sort of these ones up here, this Mount Gordo one, I know it's cheap. Same thing, not all that great. It's really far away, isolated from main highways. Same with the Palito Bay one, in the complete middle of nowhere. Yes, it's cheap. I've seen a lot of people gravitating towards this one, the Lago Zancudo one, but for me, it's in the swamp, and I don't really like that. You've got good access to the highway and the Smugglers Run hangars, potentially, but I don't see a whole lot of benefit in this one. Now, ultimately, it's your decision on what you want to buy. You might really like the Route 68 one because you've got the Route 68 bunker, so they're close together. Basically, just pick one because of the strategy that you want to involve. Don't pick it because you think a certain location is going to give you more benefits over another, other than just what you can see on the outside and where it is. All right, moving on to the next buyer beware item, and that is the Orbital Cannon. So the orbital weapon system is insane. I'm not going to lie. It's one of the more powerful things you can use in this game. Number 1, if you want to buy it, it's $900,000. That right there is relatively pricey, and that's something that's definitely not cheap. So $900,000 is the upfront cost, but it gets even worse. So if you wanted to use the orbital cannon, you'd actually have to go into this room inside of your facility. And then once you actually go and want to try and activate something like this, you're going to be met with another paywall. So you'll have options to spectate or surveillance, which is free. And then you can use manual or automatic targeting. Now, manual targeting will cost you $500,000. I'm not joking there. And automatic targeting will cost you $750,000. There's some drip feed vehicles that are coming out soon that don't even cost that much. And you're going to pay $750,000 just for an orbital cannon strike to kill one person? I don't think so. This is one of the biggest ripoffs of all time. It is so pricey for what you're actually getting, and it's just really, really dumb. And number 1, I think this is way overpowered. I mean, think about it. For car shows or just someone that's minding their own business, some rich guy can just drop an orbital strike on them for $750,000. Now, luckily, you can only do this once every, I think it's 48 minutes, but still, $750,000, $500,000, that is an insane ripoff right there. So don't buy the orbital strike. Now, the next thing you shouldn't buy in your facility is the lounge. So although the lounge isn't all that pricey, if you do the most premium option, which is Premier, it's $340,000. That's not terrible, but the lounge is totally worthless. It really doesn't get you anything. There's like a TV that you can watch. There's a couple chairs that you can sit at. There's a computer in there, but you honestly can't even do anything at the computer. So it's a total waste. And for me, the privacy glass doesn't even work. I paid for privacy glass and I don't get any of that. So I'm not exactly sure what happened here, why it's not working, but you can basically just sit down. You're not going to be doing that in this facility. You're either going to be, in one of the other places, you're going to be doing the heists, but you're not going to be chilling out in the lounge. This is just, if you want to be in your lounge, go to an apartment that you likely already own. Do not do so inside of here. Yes, you can browse the computer, but honestly, you can do that from your phone just as easily. So there's really no point to that. Now, the sleeping quarters in here, I would recommend buying because then you can use it as a spawn location, but the lounge doesn't offer you anything. And then the lower part is pretty worthless too. And the lower part doesn't change based off of what you do or what you upgrade. You just have these, ladies down here with some green juice to drink and then a soda machine, and that is pretty much it. So do not buy the lounge. It really doesn't do anything for you or your characters. Now, let's move on to some of the vehicles that I think you should stick away from, and one of those is the Avenger. So I know this might be a little bit controversial as the Avenger is the new Sky MOC, but honestly, it's not worth it if you're just looking to upgrade the new vehicles and get access to the Mark II weapons, because you can do all of that inside the MOC. You don't need the more expensive Avenger in order to do that. Now, don't get me wrong, I think the Avenger is a great vehicle. It's a way better upgrade, and in fact, I think it's better than the MOC in terms of what it's able to do and still keeping the same abilities. But is it worth it for the price if you've already got a fully functioning and working mobile operations center? That's where I think the answer is no. So even though this is not a bad vehicle, it's getting the buyer beware sticker because Rockstar doesn't do a good enough job of saying, hey, this doesn't necessarily have to be bought. You can still do most of the things you want to do with this vehicle inside of the mobile operations center. So for that reason, it's getting the buyer beware. Still a great vehicle, just really not all that necessary unless you want it just for a convenience. Okay, the next vehicle we're going to be taking a look at is the RCV. So the RCV is this like police riot vehicle, and this thing is just overall not all that impressive, and I am really disappointed in this vehicle. So the RCV is like the big riot truck with the two fire hoses on the top, and one of the things that's disappointing about this vehicle is it's not all that great at anything. It's slow, it's cumbersome. The ram on the front doesn't work at all. You can't really get things out of the way. This thing blows up with one sticky bomb, one RPG, really disappointing. And the weapons on the top. I get that the fire hydrant or the fire water disposal thing is cool, but it's super ineffective, and there's just nothing about this that's all that great. The lights are pretty awesome. The fact that it's kind of a customizable police vehicle that you can store is a nice start for Rockstar, but this is definitely not a vehicle that I would waste, I think it's over $3 million for the regular price. So don't buy the RCV. In my opinion, it is a big, big waste. Really disappointed in this vehicle, which is a shame because I had lots of high hopes for it. So not going to be buying this one, and I recommend you guys do the same. Now, another vehicle I think should get the buyer beware is the Chernobog. So this is this like Russian missile launcher vehicle, and although this thing is cool, it has some severe limitations. So for example, this thing is very, very slow, which is not all that great. Now, that's something that I expected, but as far as the missile launchers go, you actually can't use it while this vehicle is moving. And it also requires a second passenger in order to utilize those missiles. So if you're playing solo, what you'd have to do is literally stop the vehicle, you'd have to get out, and then you'd have to get into the passenger seat in order to try and access those missiles, which is obviously not going to be great if the target you're going after is, mobile or is on the move or is hunting you, because they're going to have an extreme advantage when it comes to ultimately trying to take you out. Now, this thing packs quite a punch, but the fact is, unless your target is stationary or you somehow are able to sneak up on them, you're really not going to be able to effectively kill them because of how slow and cumbersome this vehicle is, and honestly because its limitations of only being available to one player. So the Chernobog is cool, but unfortunately it has a ton of setbacks, and for the price it is, definitely not worth it either. Save your money and spend it somewhere else. Okay, and the final vehicle we're going to be taking a look at today that in my opinion gets the buyer beware sticker is the Barrage. Now, this vehicle has amazing customization. I think that it's really cool. It's got great weapons on there for the front and the back. However, this thing doesn't excel at the one thing I thought it would, and that is being a pretty good off-road vehicle. We saw it in like the heist trailer going up and down like sand dunes and hills, and this thing doesn't do that all that well. It's like the one thing it doesn't really do that's all that great. It seems unstable when like climbing rocks and hills and stuff like that. So I don't know, maybe that's just my experience with it, but I just feel like it could have been a little bit better for what you could get. And you honestly might as well get a cheaper option like the Insurgent pickup or something along those lines, that even though we'll forego some of that really cool customization, will save you a ton in price and pretty much does the exact same thing. So this vehicle overall is really cool, just a touch disappointed in its performance, and that's why I'm going to be giving it the buyer beware sticker. Now, as far as the Legendary Motorsports and Southern San Andreas vehicles go, it's kind of hard for me to put a buyer beware sticker on any of these. If I'm going to put a buyer beware sticker on one, it's going to be the Ubermacht SC1. But that doesn't come from any like objective reasoning. That just comes from I don't like it. I think the Pariah is really cool. Comet Safari is awesome. I love the Tesla Model 3, the coil radon, so I'm a big fan of that. And then if we jump over to Southern San Andreas Super Autos, I love the customization on the off-road Riata, and the Declasse Yosemite is really cool as well. That's got some great customization, and they're both on the real cheap, so you can have a lot of fun for not a whole lot of money. So I can't really put a buyer beware sticker on any of that, so I'm kind of just going to leave it off. So that's where I'm going to be ending today's discussion on the buyer beware of what you should stay away from in the Doomsday Heist update. Let me know in the comment section down below if you have anything to add or take away from the list that I have today. What are some of your buyer bewares from this update? I'd love to hear from you guys in the comment section down below. If you did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new. We like daily GTA 5 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.